Hello everybody, and welcome to this weekly reading for the week of July 12th of 2020. So this week I felt called to use one of the Sabian symbols, and I dowsed for that because there are 360 symbols, and so the perfect one always comes forward as guidance for our week. And always my intention with these readings is to bring through, and I need this for myself too, so understand that it's a win-win situation all around. It's a feeling, I want to bring through a feeling of ease and being able to see the magic of life, being able to truly believe in that part of us that we all had when we were little kids. You know, I'm talking like 3, 4, 5 years old, before we got into school and systems and programs and ways of acting, behaving that we had to learn, we had to let go of for one reason or another. And I want to invite that back into your life, because there's a certain amount of ease with that I think is really needed, and it's something that I'm particularly called to. It's also a state of being very present with what is, and not putting a lot of worry, stress, and struggle on what could be coming or what has been, but to get us focused right here and right now, you know. And a big part of the energy that I tap into is that of the elementals. It's why I have a very easy time communicating with animals, for instance. And that elementals includes, of course, more than just the animals, but also the 4 elements themselves of earth, air, water, and fire. And as well as like the fairy kingdom, all of that, elves. And you don't have to believe in any of that stuff, but you, by virtue of being here on the earth, you are a believer in the 4 elements, because we wouldn't have the earth if it weren't for the elements. So we can't really let go of the elementals, and I feel they have a lot to teach us about being very present and about believing in the purity of our own spirit, of our own divine nature. I think they point us back to that. You know, I was sitting out here earlier and just, you know, it's the same bird, and those of you who are bird people may know what that is. I don't know the calls. That'd be really fun to learn, actually. Just sitting here and listening to that purity, listening to the wind rustling through the trees around our property, watching the clouds come and go, and like massive cloud cover coming in. It just, you know, there's so much movement, there's so much change going on right within our sphere that we do not pay any attention to. And so all of this feels important somehow for this week, and thus why it's coming out of me. Our symbol for this week is the ever-adventurous energy of Sagittarius, and it's Sagittarius 8. Within the depths of the earth, new elements are being formed. Now, I haven't looked back at this symbol since I originally wrote it down yesterday, and so all of that was just coming out. It's absolutely a message from the elementals this week, and I think we're being given what I was feeling when I initially tapped in with that symbol. We're being given an opportunity to look deeper. And sometimes that means getting simple. Sometimes that means looking at what is right in front of your eyes. You've heard the phrase of, you know, hiding right in plain sight. I think that's the energy of this, that in order to bring an ease, remember the intention of my reading, an ease, and to feel this magic of life that can truly be, no matter what is going on in your life. It's like just getting back to a simpler energy and noticing what is right there. So the cards, and you can pick more than one in that frame at the beginning of the video, whatever pulls your eye, or maybe all of them do. And I'm going to have a little bonus with each one, okay, from my crystal grab bag. Each one has a crystal. So let's get started about these cards are going to reference what it is, I think, we'll see, what it is that wants your attention that's right there. But it can profoundly change our experience if we tap into these things, into this simplicity, into this, the beauty and the integrity of the elemental energy. Okay, so the first card up is from the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. Okay, if you chose this card, and you have a major arcana card. These are major points along the journey of the Fool in the Tarot. I like to call it the Dreamer. They're major, like, stopping points. They're big turning points. So this could be, you know, pretty foundational for you in terms of the message. So this is the Hierophant. Now this has to do with your own sense of what you believe, what you have faith in, okay? This always depicts a figure that's similar to the Pope. It always kind of hints at those that have, like, vision into something deeper. Again, going back to our Sabian symbol, within the depths of the earth, new elements are being formed. That we all have a Hierophant part of us, okay? And that is a very wise and profoundly deep part of who we are. And I want you to think about your own sense of belief in something that isn't tangible. And you can relate this to religion or your spiritual belief. That's probably the easiest place to relate it to. But it can also just be an operating system within you, that even something as foundational as, I believe that, you know, life on earth here is here to support me. And what I mean by that is that my path is unfolding beautifully and that the right resources come in at the right time. That's really what I'm pointing to. I don't mean that others float you along. It's more that you are supported in your efforts here on the earth. That's an example. But it's this deeper, wiser part of you that perhaps you spent a lot of time following a protocol that you were taught at a very young age, that this is what you do when you're in this setting, or this is the path that you take when it comes to your life. You know, you get to a certain age, you get married, you have children, you have your own home, you know, that you get settled really quickly. That looks different for everybody. Again, the key word here for you is belief. What is it that you believe? Because something actually simpler and more foundational to who you are is wanting to pop its head up, is wanting to be revealed. That's what I really feel. And it's something that others, there's always in the tarot two figures that are kind of kneeling before this person. It's something that others will find awe-inspiring, I think, about you if you were to begin taking on that belief as truly foundational to who you are. Again, there's something shifting here this week for us, or there's, what I want to say is the potential for a shift, because within the depths of the earth, new elements are being formed, something new. Again, elemental, it's very simple energy. I wish I could hand this out in giant scoopfuls when I'm connected with that elemental energy. It is just very simple. It's not as complex as our world makes life out to be. So really thinking about your belief, what is it that you believe in? And another sort of indicator of this is the crystal. This is your bonus crystal. And it's not my little piece of labradorite. This is my big honkin' mama gorgeous piece of heaven. This is absolutely my favorite crystal of all the ones I have. It is pure magic. This carries the water energy. So it tells me that in order to access this, again, you gotta look to your intuition on this. You gotta look to the signs that want your attention. And nature is a wonderful place to get signs, where you might be looking from a distance at a piece of wood, and it just reminds you of something. It takes the shape almost of something that you can instantly recognize, and then you can't see it any other way. I saw that recently in our backyard, a piece of wood that I hadn't even noticed before, and it looked like a woman with her head back, and she was really opening her throat chakra. Okay, and so that's another clue for you. This is about finding your voice. And this piece of labradorite the energy of it is known to me as reflector and definer. And when I was holding this, just before I came out to record this, these are the themes that wanted to come forward. Self-reflection, redefining who you are, and obviously the water energy. And so as I was saying, it's both intuition, but it's also allowing yourself to flow with it a little bit and not be in this place that there's another side of the Hierophant energy, which can get very like stoic in its beliefs, very staunch. And that is not the energy I feel with this. I feel like this is a revealing of something that really helps your life to have more ease. And just as this piece of labradorite, as I turn this, I don't know if you can see it, the colors in it are magnificent. There's a gorgeous sort of magenta color that appears. It's really a magnificent piece. I feel fortunate to have it. But the meaning behind that is it's revealing these deeper colors of you. It's that sentiment of being willing to go into self-reflection and to possibly redefine who you are at a belief level. That's no small feat, and that's why you have a major arcana card. This is not small stuff. This is big doings, and not to say, I want to underline the fact that elemental energy that I'm bringing through here is very simple, and it has a feeling of being slow, but what I want to say is it's more paced than quick. Got to get it done, got to figure this out. It's not that. It will reveal itself. So really doing some thinking around your beliefs, and truly, how do they guide your life? Because you have new elements. This is within you, and it's wisdom within you. Just like these colors, they're inherent to every piece of labradorite, has these kind of gleaming colors that appear. It is part and parcel with it. There are parts of this piece, or any piece of labradorite, that you look at and it looks flat and kind of dull, and then you turn it and you start to see these electric colors. I mean, it's just magical. I love labradorite. But again, you're doing self-reflection and redefinition here. It's big. That's big. So there you go. That's quite a bit of homework for this week. But be willing to just take a look at it. Be willing to redefine yourself and to say, maybe I'm not operating according to that old belief anymore. Okay, maybe there is a greater wisdom that's ready to come up, and where I've reached a point where I've accomplished or gained the things in my life, generally speaking, that I've wanted, and so now it's time to shift. And maybe you're moving into more of an enjoyment, a pure enjoyment level of your life, instead of the striving, instead of life having to be about struggle, about achievement all the time. That's just one example. Okay. The second card up is from the Flower Therapy deck. And you have here, magnify your intentions, baby's breath. Again, elemental energy. The energy of baby's breath for me is what I want to call small purity. It's like small drops of dew, you know. It's pureness of intent. Now this card says, choose a specific goal to work toward. Your energy is spread out among too many ideas. Please bring your focus back to the key intention and let your angels help. So again, I just get this sense of like you with these, it's like you go out at night. Remember, I'm really channeling elemental energy this week. It's like you're a little fairy that goes out at night, and this is real deal stuff for those of you that are with me and believe in fairies, fairy energy. It's like you're carefully placing these dewdrops around where you see there is potential for new growth, new life, new ideas, new inspiration. You're the one doing that. And that's a really powerful visualization if you can plan to do that even as you're going to sleep at night, that I'm going to be setting out my dewdrop intentions out in this integrity that is this earthly life in nature, purity, and trusting that the right things are going to blossom, that they're going to become more. But you're starting out at this baby's breath, which is so tied to the elemental energy. As I said, there's a simplicity. It's like when you look at a bouquet of, let's say, even just baby's breath, but what comes to mind for me are daisies. There is just an absolute beauty about those that to me just can't be beat. I mean, I have other favorite flowers that I would call my favorites, but it's the purity of it. It's the simplicity of it. That's what I really want to focus your energy on. The part of the message that's in my crystal grab bag here for you is this beautiful piece of Celestine. It's known to me as angel wings. And this is actually fire energy. And that's the feeling I get from the baby's breath. You're clearly working on something. You're planting something new. You're ready for something new. Ready for something to blossom on a whole different level. And that the angel wings just reminds you, it's a fire that inspires others, but it's very gentle. It's dropping the struggle, and it's committed to a vision. And that last piece, committed to a vision, came through as I was holding this. The other pieces are core to this particular crystal. And it's got a very, just like baby's breath, it's very gentle, but it doesn't mean it's not passionate. But that you're taking it one little step at a time. And your intention, I can't stress enough how much intention means for you. And I really am serious about this because it keeps coming back to me, that vision of you as this little fairy. And detail out in your mind, what do you look like as that fairy energy? Because they take all different forms. Not all of them have wings, for instance. Some of them are more drawn to the water. Some are more drawn to working with, parts of the earth, certain kinds of plants, certain kinds of flowers. Some work solely with trees. It's all over the board. Everything that you see on earth has fairy helpers. And so what does that look like for you? And then before you're going to bed at night, maybe create a special journal for this. And what are you envisioning? And put those they're like dewdrop wishes, dewdrop intentions out there. And you're placing them almost as if on little bits of clover. That's all I can see as I'm looking out here. Little bits of clover, and just seeing what blossoms. But that you're putting out many things, and I know the card mentioned that you're spread out among too many ideas, but actually these are kind of intentions around a certain area of interest. And you don't have to be high achieving here. This doesn't have to be about career change, or a major relationship coming into your life. Remember the energy of the elementals, and you've got it here with the baby's breath, and you've got the gentleness of this angel wing piece. It's about starting really small and just building that energy, allowing it to build on its own. You can totally trust the momentum, because once you get that intention stream going, it just will build its own momentum. You won't even have to do anything. Okay, my example of this is when I launched my business, I left all my security in my corporate job. I put everything, and with kudos to my husband for being willing to do this, put everything on the line financially so that we could pay our bills. And when I was in the stream of that, and my intention was to do communication, healing, energy work with horses, because I just knew I had a connection with them, I found myself at the table of the force in therapeutic riding, which was my kind of an area of focus for me, because those horses take on a lot of stress. And when I got in that stream of that, I found myself, I didn't even know who she was, but within our area, she is like the master around therapeutic riding. And I found myself there, and also met somebody from Canada who taught me a lot to grow my knowledge around horses and this type of work with horses, and then made it my own. She has a certain bend to her work, and I was going in a bit of a different direction. So I want you to trust when I say the momentum will build itself. But I think the part of the message about too many ideas is that you haven't necessarily really put your gusto behind it. You got your angel wings behind you now. And remember, this is our symbol this week. Within the depths of the earth, new elements are being formed. You're getting a new opportunity. It's a very fresh feeling kind of energy that is really, there is an exciting potential around it. But it's so grounded. It's so right here, right now, and I'm just working with my thought. I'm working with, you've got fire implicated here with this particular crystal. I'm working with my passion. I'm committed to my vision. That is a key message for you, to be committed to your vision and to just put those dewdrop intentions out there. I just love that visualization, because it is so elemental in its nature. It's purity. And when you get pure on your intent, when you really know like where you want to be at, what you want to feel, what you want to create in this life, you don't have to figure out the hows. You don't have to figure out all the details. Again, I want to stress that the momentum will pick up on its own. And especially as you're tapped into this gentle, very present kind of elemental energy that's with us this week. Okay? All right, the final card, of course I can't remember it just as I put it up. This is a new deck for me. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to put it in the description. These are different kinds of cards because they have a big long description on them. Okay, but I was really drawn to them, and I don't think I've used them in a reading yet. Okay, I want to remind you before I read this, our Sabian symbol this week is Sagittarius 8. And you, my friend, based on the crystal that's coming up for you, you have a lot of Sagittarius energy going on, even before I look at this or read this. Sagittarius 8, within the depths of the earth, new elements are being formed. And Sag is about breaking out. It is about the ultimate freedom. It is totally interested in philosophies and new ways of thinking. And the Sag energy is willing to grow, is willing to change, if that makes sense to the person. Like if they've come along in their life and they've just reached a point where, you know what, I'm kind of ready for a new mantra for my life. That totally is Sag, because it will help to set something free. Sagittarius doesn't want to be bound by anything like a protocol or a set way of doing things. It is not the energy of like an earth sign, like Virgo is very like, and Taurus too, and Capricorn, all the earth signs. They're much more based on a daily schedule, and they're being focused on achievement and really being concerned with security and things. And it isn't that Sagittarius energy doesn't value those things in some regard, but you got to look at the high notes of what Sag really is. And it's a fire sign. It's like, I got to break out of this because I experience growth and I experience more freedom to be who I am when I break out of things that have ground me into a cycle that is no longer helpful anymore. I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm not growing. I'm not feeling like I'm being pushed out of my own box. Okay? So for some reason your crystal wants to be shown first, and it's fire, and this is the crystal that I equate most in my collection with Sagittarius energy. And it's this beautiful piece of adventuring. God, I can't remember names today. Just can't. I know it is as adventurer. Okay? It's this Amazonite, but adventurer is the name that I equate for it. And its themes are chopping through the jungle, unafraid of what lies ahead, breaking down old barriers. And then as I was holding it before coming out here, the word verve, that just wants, it's this enthusiastic spirit to keep moving forward. It's like, I'm just gonna go for it. I don't know what exists down that path or when I start chopping things out of the way, but I'm going for it anyway. It's a wonderful spirit to this crystal. Absolutely wonderful. So lots of Sag energy for you. And your card, I'm going to read this to you because this is what I feel is profound about these cards. There will be parts of it that sort of hop out at me, but I really want you to listen and see what part resonates with you, given what I've just described about the fire and the passion and the quest for freedom that is the Sagittarius energy. Okay, that adventurer spirit. Color. Each color of the light spectrum has its own ray and its own energetic vibration, which interact with and affect our personal energetic vibration. Color can have a profound effect on your mood, vitality, and well-being. Today, experience the creative, healing, and calming effect that a color meditation brings. Sit quietly and connect to your breath. Imagine you are sitting under a celestial, magical, vibrant rainbow filled with many colors. Allow each pearlescent and opalescent color to flow over and through you. Gold, silver, copper, platinum, violet, purple, magenta, lilac, indigo, blue, pink, emerald green, yellow, orange, red, and ruby. Breathe the colors in one by one and sit in each color as long as you need to. Let them all pass through and dissolve away into the light around you, into oneness. As your light channel expands, feel magic and tingling sensations moving through you, healing and soothing all of you. Connect to your breath and move back into your day with added energy, balance, and creativity. Know the treasure at the end of the rainbow resides within you. And because of this color, I feel really drawn for most of you that this is a signature color when we talk about within the depths of the earth, new elements are being formed. That's our symbol this week. That there's something about this beautiful aqua color that relates to the throat chakra. Okay? It's for some reason why I wanted to wear this hat today. It's this sense of finding a voice, but it is so calm. It has the verve, okay? And this is, it's a concept that is kind of what I'd call the new earth, the 5D energy. That is, we don't have to let go of our passion in order to find this gentle power within us, in order to find our own version of what verve means to each of us. But I really feel that you're changing, you're kind of cutting through some old ways of being. It's old ways of, your throat chakra is about how you express yourself in this world. And there's some old stuff there that just doesn't want to be there anymore. And you will know, because as you come up against things in your life, you will feel like, almost like you stubbed your toe, or you walked into a brick wall, or you tripped over something. It's energetically like that. It's like, you're kind of like wishy-washy about things. You're not really sure that makes a lot of sense to you, or it's where you want to be. It's unclear. And the thing with this meditation that I just read, could you feel the clarity of that? And yet there is a lot in the picture. There's a lot of vibrance there. But again, there's such a basis of the elementals for this particular reading. And I just feel their simplicity here. And that it can be just you looking at your life straight on and seeing all of this multitude of colors, but also see where it's cloudy or it's really gray. Okay, because the Sag energy is with you. You are the one with the Sag energy this week. And Sag really doesn't dig the cloudy colors. Sag is like, I do feel it's kind of like the unicorn with the rainbows, and it's got an energy of I want to see more. I want to open to more, because it's ruled by the planet Jupiter. And so there's just all of this expression that wants to be had. And so really finally caring for those details of your life where you don't see the color, let it drop. I mean, be brave enough to let it drop. If you're not experiencing the color of your life in certain segments, and that's how I take each of these colors that was mentioned, I take those to be parts of your life. And only you, I mean, those who are interested can do meditation work on looking into each of those colors, even if you just do the basic colors of the rainbow, to take a look at what those represent for you as you tap into yellow, let's say. Okay, or you can relate it to the chakras in the body. But it's taking a look at all of that and processing it through the throat chakra, which is, again, how we bring expression to our life. Not only in how we communicate, but how we take in, how we listen and learn, and also how we create things. It's the creative center. So, yeah, to take a look at that for yourself, and if you aren't experiencing the color, the vibrancy, the Sag in you says, I want verve. I want verve. And it can be possible, and it should be wholly applicable to all of us, that we can have verve, that we can have that enthusiasm, that bright spirit in all areas of our life. That's totally possible, and that's something that you can grant yourself. But sometimes it is the throat chakra, again, that holds it back, because I'm not deserving of that, or I have to do these things, or I have to behave in that certain way, or I have to do this because this other person expects it. Just to recognize where that is, because again, new elements are forming within you. This is the potential for some new beginnings that originate from within you. And the truth about how energy works on this planet is that's the way we create. We always create the energy from within us first. And then that exudes through vibration, a signal out there to the greater earth. And believe me, the elementals are listening and wanting to support you in this endeavor. You exude that out, and that's how creation happens. That's how this momentum picks up, and you start doing more of the things that you want to do, and more of the things that add the verve, the color back into your life. Because I think for many of us, it gets sort of like the colors of our life kind of get, whoa. I'm wondering if you saw that. I think that was a June bug, but it could have been a huge bumblebee. I don't know. I'm keeping that in though, because that's exactly it. It wants your attention that much that it will actually come like booming in. That's what I'm saying about like stubbing your toe. I'm talking energetically here. Talk about putting verve in my life. I was like, wow, that thing is huge. I think it was a June bug. Anyway, it's just so in your face like that. But you see, over time, we just become used to it. We become used to it. We're used to it being a faded out lilac color, you know. We don't even see the necessity for the vibrancy. And these elements from within you want you to see the vibrancy again. And so it will come at you just like that. Just look for those places in your life that feel like you energetically stubbed your toe. You walk away from it feeling really unsatisfied. Really like, oh, God, what's the point? Or that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Drop it. I mean, if you can, drop it. Or add something onto it. Or change your own perspective about it. There's various ways to go at that. But what I'm hearing from the elementals is drop it. Honestly. Like, there's so much to experience in life that it doesn't have to be about staying the course because that's the way it is. We're not talking about that energy for you. This is about verve. This is about Sagittarius. This is about really living your life. You're here to live your life. And you're here to soak up as much of that color as you can. So just some fine tuning on bringing that color back, the vibrancy back. And you will know, because it will feel like energetically stumbling. You may even really stumble. You may even have a June bug come at you, like right in your face. You know, it'll be obvious to you what that feels like, that's not my full verve. I'm not there. So what can I do to make it full again? You know, and be full on, because that's the Sagittarius energy is right with you. Okay? There we go, everybody. Thank you for listening in, and I hope to see you next weekend. I'm just sort of taking it as the feeling comes to me to do readings. So hope to see you then. Bye-bye for now.